Hi there, Moira McDonald. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. I know I'm a wee bit late. Um, you probably saw in Junk Journal Junkies, I managed to fall shortly before Christmas um, on black ice as I was going out to walk the dogs, and I really done my back in. Back's still pretty uncomfortable, but you know, it'll get there. It's not that major. My husband's been ill over New Year as well, just to kind of top things off for me. Had to see an emergency doctor with him. He's got quite a number of respiratory issues and managed to contract a chest infection, so everything's kind of been up in the air, and can I say I'm feeling at my happiest. I have to say it's not been a happy, cheerful time for us overall, but it's passed, and he's at least on antibiotics now. I'm getting there a bit more. I can at least stand for a wee bit longer when I'm trying to do stuff with the wee bit back pain. So, you know, we'll soldier on. Anyway, what I've got for you today is something similar but different, if you know what I mean. It's glassine bags that I've decorated, and my intention is they aren't sewn, the glassine bags, so they can be sewed into a journal and used as tuck spots. At the moment what I've done is I have tucked a variety of tags and things that I've made myself, which would be included with these glassine bags, and the plan is to sell them in my Etsy shop. So what we'll do is I'll run through the first. Not sure how long this is going to take me. If my video is running on more than 15 minutes, then obviously what I need to do is stop and do the next one. I've got 3 of these in total, so we'll see how it goes. If I get all 3 in the first one, then that's fair enough. Oh, I should be doing that, shouldn't I? Because some folk get really annoyed if they don't listen to your beginnings and they don't see anything moving because they think there's something up their telly. Right, anyway, let's get into it. Right, so what we've got here is, I'll take that out just now. It's a wee glassine bag that I have decorated. It's been tea stained. These are all quite shabby chic-esque in their appearance. It has a bit of book page at the back, bit of cheesecloth, some wee pearls that are stuck on, an image of a pretty lady, little butterfly which is layered. There's actually 2, one that's static and the other one makes it look as if it's, you know, it's got a bit of movement. Little cartoon from a book, a vintage book that I've got. A little shabby chic rosette flower, and in the centre a little button with some knotted string. Up the top we've got some sari silk which is layered with a wee bit of lace and a little button, and the edge itself has some lace here. So the first thing you get when you look at it is it opens up in here, and inside we have a tag, again very shabby chic. I've die cut the corners using a Martha Stewart punch, and I've got a lace applique flower with a little stitched on. I think it was Kristen, sorry, that had some, she'd found one of these when she was going through her buttons jar the other day. These actually come attached to some of these appliques I've bought. Got a wee bit of lace here and another bit of lace on top of it, and the image of a pretty lady. And it sits at a jaunty angle because I don't like straight. I like things to be a wee bit different. So that's in the first side. Again, as I've said, the intention is that you use the pocket as, you know, to sew, and it doesn't need all of these tags in it. These tags can be used elsewhere in a journal. I just put them in to keep them out the way. We've got a pocket here, and I have a little die cut corner here, and 2 wee itty bitty stamped pieces of ephemera, a wee bit of music there, and a little itty bitty postcard. Leave it in that one. And on this side we have stamped, and up the top it's got a wee bit of cheesecloth and a little sort of resin type button. I have also, apart from distressing it with vintage photo, I've gone round the edges with a wee bit of gold paint just to add a wee bit extra opulence. It's tea dyed as well. This one is just a die cut tickets type shape, and it's got Eiffel Tower in the bottom and a wee French stamp up the top. The ribbon through the hole it's glued on just to keep it in place, and a little paper flower on that one. Here I've got an embossed tag, which again I have used. I can't remember what colour that was. I think it might be peeled paint, and it was the Distress Oxide I used on that side, but this is Vintage Photo up here, and again I've gone round the edge of this with some gold because it just makes it look that wee bit richer. And these can either be obviously stuck into a journal, or used as a tuck spot, or just used for journaling tags. They don't need to be in the actual, I mean they're so full that effectively they do make the glassine bag quite awkward, but as I've said, it's not my intention that they would be used in that fashion. This is just to keep it all together. Wee bit stamping on this one, tag shaped, and again we've got a little bit of what do you call it, cheesecloth, and another little resin rose up the top. We tag with a birdie with a crown, and chandelier and love it. Here again paper rose and the ribbon, and down the bottom of this one I have a wee itty bitty ship and tag with the word hope stamped on it, and another little piece of ephemera stamped kind of corset type body form. So we'll call this wee one, when it goes in my Etsy shop, I'll call this one Hope. In the last section here we have another wee tag, which is by the looks of things got a bit of book page and applique, flowers, lace, and a couple of paper roses. Wee ticket, and I've used one of these random Tim Holtz words. I was saying to Aaliyah quite recently, I bought these Tim Holtz words quite a wee while back, and at the time it was while I was doing cards, and an awful lot of folks seemed to use them, and I didn't realise that there were different books. I got the one that was called Chit Chat, and quite frankly I think what I bought was Tim Holtz random words that people who maybe have bits of memory lapses were using, because you can't make a coherent sentence with any of this. So because it seemed as logical as anything else, I've torn that wee ticket up the top to distress it and went round that with Vintage Photo. Next is, you'll have seen me making some of these recently. It's a bit of an old kiddies book. I've gessoed the back so that it can be used for journaling. Paper flower in the bottom, wee kind of pearl, wee bit lace. This is it's glitter paper, and I've die cut a little feather and distressed the edge. Pretty lady. In fact, you might not recognise this lady. This lady's picture appears quite regularly in things recently, and her name is actually on it, and she is Billy Burke. And Billy Burke was the good fairy in The Wizard of Oz. Obviously that's a lot later than this picture. I would imagine she was probably in her early 20s when this picture was taken, whereas she was at least maybe 40, well, maybe not as much as 40, but she was a good age anyway relative to this picture in The Wizard of Oz. Behind her we've got a little bit of lace that's cut out and a wee bit of cheesecloth. Now the back, there's lace lining front and back opening of this. Sorry, it's got really dull because it's absolutely pelting with rain suddenly. On the back of the glassine bag we have another book page, image of a kiddie, and a variety of ephemera here, wee stamp and whatever, wee bits of lace, just to decorate it all. So like I said, I mean, my intention would be that it would, you could sew it in as part of a signature, stitching it in the middle, taking these tags out and using them elsewhere in a journal, and that would be that. Right, so hopefully you've seen that okay. I am sitting at 10 minutes, so I'm not going to be able to do the other two on this one. I'll do another video and we'll see how we go on with that. Anyway, thanks very much for your time today, and as I've said, it will be in my Etsy shop, Bygones Cards. Anything you want to ask me, only too happy to have a wee chat with you. Thanks very much for tuning in. See you later. Bye.